What's up, everybody? My name is Michael Marcantonini. I'm here with IronBirds pitchers Ryan Long and Dan Federman on the first episode of All Mic'd Up for the 2023 season. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. So the reason I brought you both here was to talk about an experience you guys shared this spring. You both had a chance to play in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Ryan, you were playing for Team Great Britain, and Dan, you were playing for Team Israel. First off, guys, just what was that experience like to be able to play in the sixth ever WBC? Ryan, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really special experience. It feels different being able to play for a country that you have ties to, you have heritage from, and you're playing with a bunch of guys with that same sense of nationality. It's definitely different than the minors in the sense that you're really playing to win rather than to develop and get better. So it was a cool experience, being out there on a major league field playing with all those guys, and I loved it.
How about you, Dan?
I think it was just unreal to get out there in front of that many people for the first time and kind of get your feet wet in that. I mean, both of our goals are to play in the major leagues one day, and hopefully that's what it's going to be like. So for me, it was just awesome. It was an honor to be asked to do that in the first place, but actually get out there and contribute a little bit was awesome for me.
So how did that opportunity present itself for both of you guys? How did you end up getting the call? Was it somebody reached out to you? How did that work out?
I had a college teammate who played for them in the Olympics the year before, and he kind of brought it up to me about playing and how I would be able to qualify and heritage-wise. And then I got a DM, at the end of last year on Instagram from the general manager of the team, and talked about it with my agent, with my family, and thought if this is an opportunity, I'd be crazy not to do it. And I was at an early camp in November, and I brought it up to the Orioles, and they were nothing but, go do it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Go put on the boxing gloves. My pitching coach said, and go see what you got. So I was fired up. They were allowing me to do that and wanted me to do it.
That's really cool. Ryan, did somebody slide in your DMs, or was there another way that they got in contact?
I'm not as cool as Fed with that, but yeah, I actually kind of sought mine out a little bit more. I saw the team qualified back in September out in Regensburg, Germany, and after that I tried to reach out to people and just kind of get my name out there and say, hey, like I have heritage. I could probably qualify for the team. I texted my old college coach. He actually knew the hitting coach of the GB team, got me in contact, and about 4 months later I got a call saying I was on the early roster. So yeah, it was definitely something I really wanted to do, and just like Fed, the Orioles said the same thing. They were fully in support, and that was awesome to have their backing for it.
That's really cool stuff. Now, what did you guys learn about the countries that you were representing during this tournament? Ryan, we can start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the baseball presence in Great Britain and England, it's very much up and coming. It hasn't been a big sport there for a while, but this is a period where it's really starting to take off. And I think it was awesome to see what impact the team had over there. After our first win, it was the first win at WBC for the team ever. We got tons of mentions across the BBC. There was kids filming videos, having a great time watching our celebrations. So it was just really cool to learn about how our team was impacting the sport of baseball across Great Britain, and that was one big thing I learned.
And Dan, for you, what did you learn about Israel, whether it's on or off the baseball field?
I didn't realize at first how little baseball was over there. I didn't realize that there was only one baseball field in the country at the time and certain things like that. So it was really cool for me to be, play there and see some of the fans that came out and reached out and how supportive they were. I mean, this was an awesome experience for me, but I feel like for the fans, it was just as cool of an experience for them. And I'm glad that I was able to be a part of that, help them, bring baseball into the country and kind of get the word out there that, there's people anywhere. Baseball is for everybody, so it doesn't matter where you grew up or whatnot. You can make it in this game.
Definitely a global game, and it's so cool to see it growing across the world. Now, because both of your squads automatically qualified for the next WBC, Team Israel and Team Great Britain, what is that going to mean for the country that you were representing and growing the game over there?
I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience. I mean, it only happens every 3-4 years, whatever it was. I'm excited if I get the opportunity to do it again. I'm definitely going to do it again, and it was an honor. And hopefully, little kids and people over there or wherever see that, I can do it. They can do it too.
Yeah, and Ryan, you mentioned the first ever win for Great Britain in the WBC. So what does that win and automatically qualifying for the next one do for the sport in that country?
Yeah, well, honestly, the biggest thing is it gets the team a ton more funding. Yeah. They had around something like $85,000 for like a period of like 5 years for all their national teams, everything. So it was next to nothing, and this is gonna, put the team in a spot to be able to get a lot more funding from the country over the next few years, and hopefully build up the youth sports and hopefully continue to keep building that sport over there. So honestly, just being able to publicize it and see that we can have success on the national stage, that's really just going to continue to help grow the sport, and get fields, equipment, all that sort of thing.
You both had similar experiences in a sense that you're both pitching in the same tournament, pitching in big league stadiums with getting to know new teammates, playing for new coaches, but different in a sense that, Ryan, you were throwing to 20-year-old Mariners prospect Harry Ford. On the flip side, Dan, you're throwing to 35-year-old veteran Ryan LaVarnway, a guy who's played parts of 10 big league seasons. So on opposite ends of the spectrum with that, I mean, Ryan, what's it like throwing to a top prospect in Harry Ford, and what was the relationship like with him?
Yeah, it was awesome working with Harry. He's a really funny, really hard-working young kid. Loves the game. If he told me he was 27, I mean, not by the looks of him, but by how he knows the game, how he plays, I'd believe you. He was a rock behind the plate. He caught all 4 games for us. Really commanded a staff of guys he'd never caught before. I was extremely impressed by him. He's going to have a great, next few years. He's going to be up in the majors, very soon, I think. So yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah, the other thing you said too, just being able to build up with Fed, honestly, he said we had similar experiences, and honestly, I thought that was a pretty cool thing to have, because both of us showed up to spring training at the same time. We were able to play catch, work on our stuff every single day, always on the same schedule. So I thought that was a really special thing too, and a really important part of both of our ability to go out there and pitch well in that tourney.
Yeah, so Dan, you're throwing to a guy who's been around a baseball field for a while. One of the most knowledgeable guys around the game, and he's on TV now. His playing career's done. What was it like throwing to a veteran like Ryan LaVarnway?
That was one of the coolest things I've done. I would just say, as far as like me being comfortable out there, I mean, I told him before, whatever you call, I'm going to throw. I'm not shaking him off. The preparation they put in, scouting reports, and just being able to read a hitter, kind of seeing like that's why he had the career that he had, just because, not only is he an awesome catcher, but he's just a smart guy. He's a personable guy, makes you feel comfortable. He kind of slowed the situation down for me. He was very complimentary. He was awesome back there. I knew whatever he was calling, I wasn't shaking off, so I was going to throw it, and I was going to throw it with confidence, which I think is a big deal, when you're going out there trying to get good hitters out.
Love that. And Ryan, I can't end this interview without asking something you've probably been asked a ton about. Striking out Mike Trout, facing Team USA. What was it like, one, facing Team USA, but also striking out the guy that some people think's the GOAT of baseball?
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I mean, there's a few guys on our team that were able to have the same experiences. We had a 37-year-old guy throwing 84-mile-an-hour sinkers, being able to strike out Trout. But yeah, I mean, it was just a cool experience as a team to go out there and play really well. Yeah, it was a super special experience, one I'll always remember.
You get Ohtani in the next one, you can retire after that.
Yeah,
it'll be all good. Fed, for you, how about the star-studded coaching staff you had with Team Israel? Ian Kinsler, the manager. You had Brad Ausmus, former big league catcher and manager on the coaching staff. Kevin Youkilis. What was it like playing for those guys?
They were awesome just to be around. I was a little starstruck, when I first got there, and then kind of settled in and realized, these guys are just like me, just, have done what I've wanted to do for the last 20 years. It was really cool just to hear them talk about the game of baseball and how calm they were in that situation when most of the team's young guys or, hasn't been in the big leagues for that long and, gets sped up a little bit. But, I grew up being a Red Sox fan. My dad's and his side of the family's from Boston, so I remember the last day I asked Youkilis if I can get a picture with him as like a little fan for a second. But it was awesome just to be around those guys, to be able to ask them questions. I mean, pitching coach Josh Side has big league time as well. So just being around those group of guys, you're probably not going to get a coaching staff like that ever.
Love that. Dan Federman, Ryan Long, a couple pitchers here for the IronBirds. Guys, really appreciated you telling your stories about playing in the WBC, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks so much, Mike.
That's it for episode 1 of All Mic'd Up. It's a wrap.